Hello there, YouTube subscribers. Today's video is on a 5-pill bass amp I built a few months back. And basically what I'm making this video for is how to operate one of these 5-pill or multi-system boxes where on the website it says that you can use 0 to 10 watt key into it. Okay, and basically this is just to explain how to operate the amp. What the fella keeps doing is he keeps blowing out rectifiers. Now it's one of a couple things that could be doing it. Either he's pulling too much with the watts that is putting a strain on the rectifiers, or he's getting power surges from his power company. Most of the time I overkill on rectification in these things. And I mean, at this amp here, at the amperage draw, I put about 150 amps of rectifier. And I used the little 50s here, little square ones, but he keeps blowing one out, and I keep replacing it. So this time what I did is I went with a big 200 amp block, which is what I usually put in my big power supplies. I don't usually do these too much in these bass amps, but I figured in this case, we're going to give it a shot. If he blows this up, he's really seriously doing something wrong. But basically on most of these amps, and it's not only me as a manufacturer, but it's any of the manufacturers out there that create boxes of this nature. And the reason that they can quote that you can put up to 10 into them is because of this variable. Okay, now wide open, basically, you know, 0, 1, maybe 2 watts into it. And if your radio doesn't have an adjustable dead key on it, then of course you need to power this back in order for the amplifier to be able to take more drive or more dead key from the radio. Basically you use this variable to set your dead key. Now with an amp like this, it's a 5-pill, I wouldn't dead key it probably no more than about 200 watts and let the rest swing. Now we're talking RMS, so you know, you can, dead key is dead key whether it's RMS or peak really. So you know, you want to look for about 200 and let the rest swing. You might get away with about 250. I tend to run mine a little bit higher than most, but if you have a good SWR on your antenna, you can do that. Well, say you had a radio that had 10 watts. You would initially take this variable here and turn it all the way back, and then adjust this up until you get a 200 watt dead key, of course. And then you roll with it from there and talk all the skip you want and have a good old time. But if you have a radio that has variable power on it, then my suggestion is leave this rascal wide open and let the radio control everything. Because if you turn this back, you will lose output wattage too. I mean, that's what the variable will do. It's cutting watts back, so, you know, to run the desired dead key. So in turn, you're going to lose output power also. So, you know, take that for what it is, and, you know, that's just the nature of the beast. So give me a little bit. We're going to hook this rascal up and we're going to test drive it, and we're going to show you exactly how you would adjust this with different radios. We'll be back. This is what we got going on now. Okay, we got the amp all in line. It's fired up. We're using the Cobra 29. Now what I've done here is this is the watts coming out of my radio. This is the watts coming out the amplifier. Okay, so we've got a 1000 watt slug here, and we have a 10 watt slug here. So we're going to be reading the bottom scale. So that 20 would mean 200 watts. And of course, the 20 over here is really 2 watts, because 10 watt slug, 1000 watt slug. So right now, as you see, we're dead keying 2 watts, and that gives us about $1.40. Okay, so that's 140 watts. Now this radio has variable power on it, so as you see, as I increase it, it goes up. Okay. So at 200, we're at what? About 2.5. So, I'm going to take the variable and I'm going to turn that down. And then I'm going to show you something. Now, as you see, there's no watts coming out the amplifier. I still have a 2 watt dead key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump the whole radio into it. And this particular radio will give me about a little over 6. As you see, we're maybe doing 20, 30 watts. Now you take the variable. You'll see this? Take the variable and you turn it a little bit until you get your desired key, which we'll put it right about there, 150. So as you see, at a 6 watt dead key, 150 watts. Audio. I don't think I have the mic gain on right now because we were just doing dead keys, but you know, you get the gist. Now this radio won't particularly dead key 10 watts. It'll do at least 6. So there's what you do when you have a radio that doesn't allow you to adjust the dead key. Now most radios, if it's a radio built without an amplifier in it, you really don't want it to dead key over 4 because you lose your audio. It's foolish to run anything over 4 watts. You know, you just crunch the audio down. There's no way that you can sound good doing that. Normally what I tell most guys is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 3 watts, which is what most radios should be putting out. So let's do a little adjustment here. We're going to do right there, 3 watts, okay? 3 watts, and then we take the amplifier and we adjust it up to our desired dead key, okay, which is going to be right about in there. That's about $1.60. You know, normally this box, if I was running it on my bass, I'd be looking more for about a 200 watt dead key out of it. But, you know, we're going to leave it there. Turning my gain up. Yeah. So, we got the radio. Yeah. And as you see, it only swings up to 6. So, this radio is stock finaled radio. Nothing really done to it but variable power and a channel kit. I just threw this one in here because I found one that would actually dead key a little bit up. If I had a Comptune 29, we could have done that. That'll definitely dead key 10, but I didn't have one finished up, and I didn't get a chance to do that. But here we go. Yeah. So as you see, a little over 400 bird out of it. So let's turn this back. I'm going to put it back at about the 2 watts. And then we're going to jam the mic. We're going to jam this wide open. Yeah. So as you see, the watts go up when the variable's up. But that would require you to take your radio down to 2 watt dead key. But this is the way that you need to properly run a base station. You know, guys are putting these variables wide open and dumping a, you know, 4 or 5 watt radio into it. You can't do that. That's not good for the amplifiers. You know, they'll take their tolls on them over time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Y'all have a super fine one. Stickman at No Name Amps, and I'm gone.
Oh,